Hey, how's it going everybody? Cub Fan here. And today we're taking a look at Snapshot 14w19a. And the first thing we're going to look at this week is the new /worldborder commands. So if I go in and type /worldborder, you'll see we have now a /worldborder damage and a /worldborder warning command. So what we're going to do here, we're going to take a look at the warning commands first. So our first command here, /worldborder warning time 10. So what this does, it will tell us whenever we are within 10 blocks of the world border catching up to us. So basically, anytime this world border is moving, whenever we're within 10 seconds of being on the outside, it will turn our screen red. So to demonstrate that, we have this block here. This will move the world border into a width of 5 blocks within 25 seconds from its current 30 block width. So what should happen when I hit this button, we should see the world border start to move in here. See the border turns red, but our screen is still fine. Now you'll see over time, about here, yep, there we go. Okay, it's starting to turn redder, and you'll see our screen starting to get redder and redder. And we are within 10 seconds now of being outside the world border, so it's telling us to move in, so we better go ahead and move in there. And our screen returns to normal. And then the world border should stop here. Yeah, there we go. So that gives us sort of a warning whenever the world border is getting close to us. So we'll go ahead and set the world border back to 30. And I'll show you this one. This is the /worldborder warning distance command. And so if I set this to say 5 blocks, hit the button, this will tell us whenever, it'll turn our screen red and warn us whenever we get within 5 blocks of the world border. So you'll see we're fine here, but if we walk close here, we're within 5 blocks now, you see the screen turns red. And you can also do something crazy, like say if you put this at, I don't know, 40, and hit the button, put it at 40, our screen will always be red because the world border itself is only 30 blocks. So we're always within the warning distance. But let me go ahead and set this back to 0 blocks. And we'll take a look at some of the other commands here. Okay, so now the /worldborder damage commands. So there are 2 different commands. There's a buffer command and an amount command. So the buffer command basically sets the number of blocks outside the world border you can be before you start to take damage. So if you set it to 0, you would start taking damage immediately once the world border passed you. Whereas if you set it to 5, you'd have to be at least 5 blocks outside the world border before you started to take damage. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to, let's go ahead and set it to 5. Why not? So once we're 5 blocks outside the world border, we'll start to take damage. Then the /worldborder damage amount command is the amount of damage per block you are outside of the border. So if I set this to say 2, for each block I'm outside of the border, I would take 2 hearts of damage. Same if I put here, I'd take 5 hearts per block, which would be pretty much instant death, you know. But yeah, let's go ahead and set that to 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and set myself to survival mode, and we'll bring the world border in over 5 seconds, and you'll see what I mean here. Actually, let's go ahead and change that to 20 seconds. And yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this here. So it'll come in here. The world border will pass us. We won't take damage initially. But once it gets to about 5 blocks away, you'll see we'll start to take damage. And we'll go 2 hearts, 4 hearts, and you'll see we're taking damage faster and faster until eventually we die there. So that's what those 2 commands do, and also that will be incredibly useful for map makers of all types. Also new this week, Slimeblocks can now push entities from the side. So what are some of the things you can do with this new mechanic? Well, you can make some very basic player launchers, or you can also launch, villagers or cows or sheep with this. Basically, you just stand here, hit this button, and you're launched. And there you go. Overshot. Look out. But yeah, very basic player cannons and entity cannons can be made with this. You can make the world's simplest TNT cannon just by placing the dispenser facing upward and using this design like this. Or if you want something with a little bit more range and a higher arc, you can do the world's second simplest TNT cannon, and you get a bigger arch there and more distance. Nice. You can also use the slime blocks for fast travel now. All you gotta do is set up something similar to this here. And you come down here, step on this button, and just sort of let yourself ride the piston train here. And you can also do this in the nether too, since it has, you know, no water involved. So that's a pretty good way to move quickly. And also, if you want something a little bit quicker than this linear design here, you can go with this zigzag pattern. I do recommend using packed ice if you have it though. It'll save you a bunch on redstone, since you can place redstone components directly on the packed ice. Then all you gotta do, step on the pressure plate, and instantly you are zigzagging across the landscape in style. And since the slime blocks push all entities from the side, you can make some interesting stuff. For instance, this boat launcher here, very straightforward, automatically launches the boat for you. So that is pretty cool, and it also works with things like minecarts and mobs and animals and stuff like that. So yeah, very cool. And lastly, but certainly not least, is the improvements to the Spectator game mode. So if we go into /game mode 3, which is the Spectator game mode, where you can take the perspective of other players or animals or mobs, and we go ahead and hit F5, you'll see we're invisible. You can see our head sort of floating there. But if we now hit the middle mouse pick block, you'll see this interface come up. And if we select one, you'll see we can teleport 2 players. So there I am right there, Cubfan135. And if there are other players on this list, we'd be able to teleport to them. So this would be really useful for spectating games and, you know, watching your friends battle, say if you die or something like that beforehand. You can also sort of categorize it by team and teleport to different team members. So this will be really useful for spectating and watching events. But that's going to be all for me today, guys, so thank you very much for watching. This has been Cubfan. Goodbye.